Night City was intended to be the city to surpass all other cities, and the coastal Californian metropolis has certainly lived up to that reputation, for better and worse. In this episode, we'll look closer at the varied districts of the city, specifically the 7 that you'll be exploring in Cyberpunk 2077. First up, we've got City Center. That's capital C, not the city center. Though as you'd imagine, it is indeed at the core of Night City. Peppered with towering skyscrapers, this part of the city is punctuated by its brutalist architecture, sea of neon lights, and menacing fortifications. Mega screens light up the busy streets and office buildings that form the commercial hub of the city. After the Fourth Corporate War and the ensuing nuclear fallout at Arasaka Tower, the zone was decimated. It was restored between the 2030s to the 2070s at great cost to the city and now stands as a corporate stronghold, the center of which is Corporate Plaza, home to some of the region's biggest corporations, including Arasaka, Militech, Biotechnica, Petrochem, and Kangtao. Its main feature is the Memorial Park, an enormous roundabout built to memorialize those lost in the Fourth Corporate War that also serves as a hub to connect each corporation's headquarters. If Corpo Plaza is where you go to make paper, then its next-door neighbor downtown is where you'd go to spend it. Flooded with exclusive nightclubs, expansive restaurants, chic bars, and dozens of alleyways, there's plenty to do after dark. The northern waterfront area is home to galleries, concert halls, and ateliers, so it's a common location for spotting the rich and famous. It's not anywhere near as safe as its sister sub-district City Center, though that's not something the NCPD likes to advertise. A region that didn't receive anywhere near as much reconstruction support after the damage caused by the 2023 nuclear disaster is Watson. Located northwest of city center, Watson was once a cultural hotspot dotted with nightclubs, skyscrapers, and the biggest black market in the city. But these days it's run down, home to the more destitute inhabitants of Night City, and dominated by the Maelstrom and Tiger Claws gangs. All that said, it's also your home in Night City. Well, V's home, so I guess you'd better get used to it. Watson was taken over by the Arasaka Corporation after the Unification War and set up shop on the waterfront for its port access. They also built a wall around the waterfront to keep the gangers, scavengers, and reporters out of the sub-district. The once prosperous Northside Industrial District is now the major settlement of the Maelstrom gang, while the Tiger Claws have taken over Little China. Little China used to be an offshoot of downtown, and it still shares the skyscrapers and density of that sub-district. It gathered its name from the large groups of Asian immigrants who moved into it, most of whom were from Chinese heritage. The sub-district used to be your one-stop shop for legal body augmentations and top-quality medical clinics, but now it's a mishmash of casinos, strip clubs, eating dens, offices, and illegal gambling parlors, all featuring a distinct Chinese aesthetic and bathed in neon glow. The nearby Kabuki was originally a flourishing sub-district due to the Japanese medical corporations it housed, but it's since fallen into disrepair and has become just about the poorest sub-district in Night City. Kabuki is marked by its twisting, claustrophobic alleyways, traditional Chinese lanterns, and bright neon lights. That said, for certain Night City residents, Kabuki is the place to be, and you can find plenty of establishments here, including the infamous Solo's Bar Afterlife. It has an active underground black market scene, entirely illegal of course, where nothing is off the menu for the right price. There's also plenty of clinics tucked away in the corners of the district where you can pick up illegal military and prototype cyberware that's been lifted from the labs of Chiba City. The busy underground scene makes Kabuki the perfect hunting ground for scavs, a gang who kidnap civilians and harvest their organs and implants for resale. Maelstrom and the Tiger Claws both have a presence in the area, but the Mocs are the big dogs of Kabuki. They hold control of Lizzie's Bar, one of the most popular brain dance clubs and brothels in the area. On the other end of the socio-economic spectrum and a little to the east is the Lux district of Westbrook, home to Night City's elite and the city's sizable Japanese community. Japantown isn't just a cultural hub for the town though. It's also home to a Shinto temple, love hotels, hostess clubs, and fancy restaurants. It's also the main base of the Tiger Claws gang, who rule the district after dark. Located right by Corpo Plaza, Japantown is a popular entertainment hub with plenty of destinations for braindance enthusiasts, discerning foodies, and everyone in between. Outside of the hustle and bustle of Japantown are North Oak and Charter Hill. North Oak is the more prestigious of the two, where the highest class citizens are protected by private security forces day and night. Tree-lined streets are dotted with sprawling villas, luxury cars, and beautiful people. You'd never know that over 50 years prior, the sub-district was nothing but arid hills on the border of Night City. Charter Hill doesn't quite reach North Oak's level of opulence, but it's your pit stop on the way. Home to aspiring corpo, fortunate freelancers, and musicians that are yet to truly make it big, Charter Hill was the place to be before North Oak took the top spot, and it's the location of choice for the upper middle class. Sprawling over the center of Night City to the east of city center is Heywood, a district of disparity. Toward the north are lush green parks and towering skyscrapers, while the south is an urban jungle that houses a sea of slums. The majority of Night City residents live in Heywood and are spread amongst its disparately high and low-income housing, a quality that gave the district its reputation as the biggest bedroom in Night City. The safest part of Heywood is Wellsprings, the section which borders city centre. It consists of mid to low-income housing but is still far more desirable than certain areas of Night City. The eastern part of Wellsprings is littered with shanty houses and graffiti from the Valentinos gang, though that gang actually operates in a separate sub-district, Vista del Rey. As the poorest district of Heywood, the streets are marked by graffiti, crumbling buildings, and the tension between the Valentinos and 6th Street gangs. Though there's apparently also pretty great tacos to be found, so it's got that going for it, which is nice. Finally, Heywood is also home to the Glen, a sub-district that houses Reconciliation Park and the newly built City Hall. The Glen is a small, relatively lawful haven in a district otherwise marred by the stark contrast between the wealthy and poverty-stricken. In Night City, there's low-income housing, poverty, slums, and then there's Pacifica. I won't mince words here. After the economic collapse, Pacifica got absolutely screwed. The Far South District was originally zoned to become a home-away-from-home vacation resort, set to bring sandy beaches, luxury hotels, and vibrant nightlife to the lives of hard-working Night City residents. Instead, it was abandoned by the corporations who had pledged to develop it, and so the half-built dreamy tourist escape stayed as it was, and degraded into a district that those who have nowhere else to go find themselves. Pacifica is split up into West Wind Estate and Coastview. The Voodoo Boys gang make their home here, having taken it upon themselves to take care of the locals who've been left for dead by the NCPD. They also make it clear outsiders are not welcome. Landmarks of the district include the Grand Imperial Mall, which, just like everything else in the district, lies unfinished and half-constructed. It's since become the stomping grounds of the Animals gang. Pacifica also includes a number of half-finished and abandoned hotels, including the Rindo Hotel and Baddies Hotel. They now serve as the residences for the local homeless population. The NCPD have labelled the district's threat level catastrophic and marked it as a no-go combat zone, where law enforcement is limited or non-existent. Scavengers are also known to frequent Pacifica, making it somehow even more dangerous. The final district we'll be covering that's actually in Night City is one of the oldest zones, Santo Domingo. Located way out east, Santo Domingo largely serves as a testing ground for industrial projects. The sub-district Ario is in a constant state of construction. It houses the Arasaka factory, Petrochem Better Life's power plants, and a sprawling junkyard, among other things. The 6th Street gang also operates in this sub-district and controls a number of abandoned factories in the area. The neighbouring sub-district of Rancho Coronado contains most of the residential dwellings of the area. It's largely suburban, featuring identical 1950s-style houses on tree-lined streets, manicured lawns, and family-oriented living and entertainment areas. The entire district, including the residential areas, are under the control of the corporations who develop within them, making it into a sort of corporate utopia. Last but not least, outside of Night City are the Badlands, which are populated by nomads, ex-corpos who've been blackballed from employment and now roam the outskirts of the city Mad Max style. Nomads share the land with the Wraiths gang, a group made up of exiles from local tribes and their families. The northern sector features unchecked resource extraction and derelict oil fields. The east is marked by landfills where acid rains threaten any vegetation that attempts to survive, and the south is dominated by a vast desert. Though Biotechnica's protein farms and the Jackson Plains power plant can also be found here. It's pretty much the Wild West out in the Badlands, so don't expect a safe journey wherever you're traveling to. While there's plenty more details to be mined from Cyberpunk 2020, that should give you a pretty good idea of the regions you'll be questing through in Cyberpunk 2077. As always, let us know what other lore topics you'd like to see covered in our next video. Be sure to check out our previous episodes, and we'll see you again soon.